In retirement, your single biggest expense will not be healthcare or health insurance or travel or food or lodging or anything else. It will be taxes. And in this video, I'm going to give you 4 things that every retiree needs to know when it comes to taxes. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Matthew Jarvis. I've been a certified financial planner for 20 plus years. Hard to believe it's been 20 plus years, but 20 plus years. So when I work with retirees, they often forget how big of an impact taxes will have in retirement. This is usually because most of your tax bill previously has been taken out of your paycheck. In other words, when you get your paycheck stub or electronically now, it shows what was your gross pay, how much is withheld for taxes, and then how much goes into your bank account. Once you retire, it is now on you to figure out how much you owe in taxes and, more importantly, how to make sure that you are not overpaying the IRS. So here are the 4 things that I recommend every retiree keep track of. Number 1, every single decision you make in retirement will have a tax impact. And I mean every decision. Some things are very obvious, like where you live or when you claim Social Security or how much money you take out of your nest egg. Some things are less obvious, like your tax withholding, what you buy or sell, how much money you have in bonds, etc. And so whatever decision you're going to make, from buying a house to buying a car to turning on Social Security, you need to make sure you understand the tax impacts of that. Now, sometimes these tax impacts are pretty easy to understand. Sometimes they're more complicated. But the thing I want you to remember is that anybody who's making recommendations to you and not talking about the tax implications should be avoided. I'm going to say that again. If someone recommends that you do something, whether it's buy a house or invest in a certain thing or take a certain amount of income or start your Social Security or anything else, and they're not talking about taxes, you're talking to the wrong person. Number 2, timing is everything. Yes, timing is everything in comedy. It is also everything in retirement and taxes. Let me give you a quick example of this. Let's say in retirement, you decide to pay off your mortgage. Now, we can discuss the merits of having a mortgage or not in retirement in another video, but let's say that you owe another $100,000 on your mortgage. And so you decide to pull out $100,000 from your nest egg to pay off your mortgage. Depending on the timing of this, it can make an incredible difference on how much you owe in taxes. Let me give you a quick scenario. Scenario 1 would be you call your advisor and say, hey, send me $100,000 all at once. I'm going to pay off my mortgage. That will have one set of tax implications. Another would be you call your advisor, make the same request. Your advisor is a tax-savvy advisor, and he or she says, you know what would make a lot of sense? Instead of doing this all at once, let's do half now in the current calendar year, and let's do the other half on January 1st in the new calendar year. The reason this matters is that taxes in the United States, income taxes at least, are what's called progressive, meaning the more money you make, including money coming out of your nest egg, the higher your tax rate. So by splitting it over 2 years, your tax bill might be $25,000, whereas doing it all in 1 year could be as high as $35,000 or even $40,000. Now, the exact number is going to depend on your situation, but again, timing is everything. Rule number 3 for taxes in retirement is whatever makes the tax bill pays the tax bill. In other words, whatever happens that causes you to owe money in taxes, that source needs to pay those taxes. An example of that would be Social Security. When you go to turn on Social Security, they will not ask you how much you want to have withheld in taxes. They won't even bother mentioning that your Social Security is subject to taxes, a video for another day, but it will cause you to have a tax bill. And as such, you're going to want to have taxes withheld from that income source. Same would be true for a pension. Same would be true if you pulled money out of your retirement accounts. Same would be true if you bought or sold investments. Whatever creates the tax bill pays the tax bill. This is why we want to make sure we're working with someone who understands that and can advise you on that. Number 4 thing, every retiree should be looking at Roth conversions every single year. Now, this doesn't mean that you should be doing a Roth conversion every single year. It means that you need to be looking at it and you should be doing the analysis to say, hey, if we did a Roth conversion this year, be it $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, $1 million, right? It's going to depend on your situation. But every year we need to look and see how much room is left in your tax bracket. In other words, how much more income can you have before you go to a higher rate, and consider doing a Roth conversion of that amount. Why? Why would we want to do that? Well, at some point in retirement, you're going to need a lump sum of money. Now, I hope it's for something fun, like that you decide to buy an RV and travel around the country, or take that vacation that you've always wanted to do, or remodel your house. Maybe it's something fun like that. Maybe it's something not fun, like the roof gets blown off your house and for some reason insurance doesn't cover it. Or maybe you have a medical expense, or maybe you go into long-term care, or maybe you have a spouse that passes away, heaven forbid. In any of these situations, if you pull out a large sum of money all at once from your retirement accounts, you're going to get killed in taxes. Why? Because the more money you make, including the money you take from your retirement accounts, the higher the tax bill. Now, we can debate separately if this is fair or not. It doesn't really matter. It is what it is. But if we try to get ahead of that, if we eat the proverbial elephant one bite at a time and we say, hey, someday we're going to need $100,000. So instead of waiting and being at the mercy of the IRS, let's each year move $10,000 or $20,000 from our IRA accounts into a Roth account so that that money will grow tax-free forevermore. So that when, not if, we need a lump sum of money, and again, hopefully it's for something fun and not for something negative, we can pull out that large sum of money without getting killed in taxes. So these are the 4 rules of taxes in retirement. But the most important one is to remember that in retirement, taxes will be your single biggest expense. And it's on you to make sure that you're not overpaying the IRS.